Hi, where are you?
Yo, what's up, man? Thank you, Tom. Thanks for the time, bro.
It's nice to have you here. Thank you for the time. Album number eight and the 20th anniversary of Dutty Rock. Like, if there's one word you could use to describe how you're feeling right now, what is it?
Excited. I get that.
Well,
Yeah.
don't get too excited. We're
Right.
gonna put an end to that because we have a lot to cover with you. We don't have a whole lot of time. I thought we'd
Cool.
take a look through some of your musical journey, starting with this.
Jigger, dirty. To the point, the one them who couldn't stand up in a court. Yo, the girl them never faded, they understand them extra rated, that's how I say. Because of then, them girl they faded. And they look like the whole of them girl they outdated. Them the girl they no rated. You all live comfortable, but them life frustrated.
So that is Faded on the Bada Bada rhythm, just one of the many early classics from Sean Paul off his debut album, Stage One. What do you remember about the Sean Paul we're hearing on that track?
Oh man, just someone who was ready for the opportunity and jumped at every hot rhythm I heard. Like, I was voicing a lot back then. The first album we picked from 75 songs and it ended up being 25. Second album, same thing, and pretty much most of them I picked from a great amount of tunes like I keep doing. And that work ethic was set from back then when someone told me, yo, you're an artist, you may not be around in 20 years. And, producers last longer. And I was like, yo, nah. And so, yeah, I just remember being in studio and coming up with, when I did songs back then, I used to write them down in a book until a certain time where it was just like, as most dope artists nowadays do, it comes off of the fly. You go into the studio, you get an inspiration, you hear the vibe, and you go do it. So I think I started to stop the book thing, like, and do the freestyle thing more with songs like this.
Well, where you access that freestyle is interesting to me because one of the things I want to talk to you about is the surprising number of Canadian connections in Sean Paul's life, and that includes this song.
Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way.
So that is still the one from Canada's own Shania Twain. What's the connection between that song and the song we heard, Faded?
Oh, definitely. The melody was influenced by it, for the hook. So, basically just a vibe, you know what I mean? There was times I did that, especially on dub plates. I can remember Gwen Stefani's song with Eve. Took a while to get me here, and I'm gonna take my time. So I used to go and do dub plates like that. This is one of the songs that definitely went in that type of vein. Also, Baby Girl was one of my first songs ever, and that was kind of a melody from Nina 99 Red Balloon. So back in those early days too, yeah, I was flipping songs like that a lot.
That like 99 velvet balloons. That one?
Yeah, baby girl, don't cry no more. And I since met Nina, and she's like, I love it.
What was it about the Shania Twain song that inspired you to flip it?
The melody. Same thing with the Gwen Stefani one. I would flip that one into a gun lyrics back in those days. Some boy, this them want come disrespect, them a lose them mind. Like, took a while to get me here, and I'm gonna wait. So when my ganja smoke a clear, them gonna feel my night. Like it was bad man lyrics. As I said, creativity kind of sparks from whatever inspires you, and those melodies inspired me. I'm a fan of the Beatles through my mom, Cat Stevens, people with a lot of different type of melodies, Bob Marley. So that gets me interested and gets me sparked up. You know what I mean?
Another Canadian connection is that you were discovered and managed by Jeremy Harding, who was born in Jamaica but moved to Canada for school, right?
Yes, sir. Jeremy kind of, I grew up knowing Zachary and Jeremy, his brother. Both of them, we would see them each other at social events, and liquor parties and that kind of thing. And when I started to rhyme and do my thing at little barbecues, and also there was like a mic, hold a mic thing at a little restaurant that people used to go on Friday nights and drink up, like just a thing, like almost karaoke, but not really. Like people do their own songs as well. And so I was kind of the one that stood out there. And I remember a friend of mine, Zachary, just coming up to me and saying, yo, my brother has a studio. Just come back from Canada, did school in Trebas. So that was the link with Jeremy. We accomplished some great things and made history.
Well, speaking of making history, I want to move on to this song right here.
So I was like, alright, yo, can I get into it? My crew down to do it if she gonna pursue it. And before I even knew it, out she came with the tight gold clip and the dark brown frame.
She said she named Money Jane, I see me, you forget. The first time we met, me couldn't keep my eyes shut. She give me bling bling, I bring me woolly pot, I said. But when me check it out, she had the
That is Money Jane from Baby Blues Sound Crew, featuring Cardinal Official, Julie Black, and my guest Sean Paul. A bona fide Canadian classic hip hop record. One of your first crossover hits. You were laughing when I played it for you just then. Like, what did you feel when you were listening to that?
I haven't heard that in forever, and I speak about it a lot because it is my first collab outside of anybody in dancehall music. So it felt big, man. Shout out to Cardi for for linking me up and noticing the talent there. I was a young artist at the time, and this was before Here Comes the Boom. This was before anything with like a Beyonce or anything like that. Early years.
How did it happen?
He just shouted us out. Cardi really knows the dancehall scene in and out, and he sent, I think, emails to Jeremy Hardy, my manager at the time. So then after I heard that, I was like, yo, how much you want for? I was like, $2,000, bro. Let's do it. and for me, it was more about me being what can I say, a lover of hip hop music when it was not as big or not as widely recognized in Jamaican circles at the time. And for somebody to reach out to me, I was like, because I was doing these dub plates, as I said, flipping songs, as I said, just to try to get noticed to whoever heard me flip a song like that, or whoever heard me on a hip hop type trap like we used to do, in Jamaica, we know the party, stuff like that. We flip it, just so that people could hear me on that type of rhythm and go, oh, this dude sounds dope on it as well. So when Cardi hit me, it's the first collab, man, the first person outside of the genre where I got to spit on a hip hop rhythm. The concept was dope, loved it. Money Jane, like, yo, she's your favorite girl, but she keeps leaving. And I was like, when you check it out, she had an angel of death. Wow, I haven't heard those lyrics in a minute. Crazy.
Well, I mean, Money Jane becomes a big club hit for Cardi, for Julie, for Baby Blue, for you. And there's a story Cardi's told over the years about an early missed opportunity. Just take a listen to this.
Jay Boberg was the president of MCA when we went and sat down in those early meetings, and he wasn't feeling Sean Paul. And we had the video, everything was done. They didn't even have to spend no money. We're like, yo, release it. Nah. He had the opportunity to sign Sean Paul and passed. And the year after that is when he bust crazy and went multi-platinum.
So first off, shout out Baby Blue Sound Crew. Second off, have you heard that story before?
Yes, there was a lot of people bidding at the time, and some people was just like, oh, it's a small reggae cat. We could throw anything at it. And not many people realized how much people was actually bidding for me. And some people just like this example here, just didn't feel like it was anything big. It wouldn't break big. Dancehall music was at that time the most international underground music. You know what I mean? You would hear it in clubs, you would hear it in cars, but never on the radio station. You wouldn't see it on TV stations. You would, you know, people would know certain songs all over the place, all over the world. So I guess at the time, execs like him was just like, you know, not really feeling the strength of what it is. And if you recognize, I mean, dancehall music is a little different from, and it's now blended a lot with reggae back again. So it's like full circle. But at that time, dancehall music was kind of a lot removed from reggae, and Bob Marley and people like that, Third World or Black Uhuru was just like the epitome of what reggae was, and it sounded different. So a lot of the elder generation was like, I don't see it, I don't get it.
Was that hard for you to get turned down, like to get turned down by labels when you were packing clubs, when you were like, you knew you had something?
No, you know, from the beginning, it's always been like, you know, if I do this for me, I do this for my pleasure, my enjoyment, my self-expression, and somebody else don't feel it, that's okay with me. You know what I mean? My mom's an artist. She told me from the beginning, like, she paints, she does watercolor, and she's like, you know, you pour your heart and your soul into your piece, and then people come and criticize it, and they can't draw or they can't paint. And same thing, you know, with your music. Like, she's like, be ready for that. Have thick skin because of that. Another big producer told me, like, yo, you're gonna, this music business, they give you a ladder to climb and people cheer you when you're going up, but they didn't tell you that they greased the ladder. And like, you start slipping in the middle, and the same people that was cheering you start going, and they cheering you. It's a form of jealousy. It's a form of, you know, that type of thing. You gotta have thick skin. So when it comes down to execs, I mean, I was like, I'm doing this for me. I like how it sounds. I've put it out. Whoever listens it, I appreciate them. And from the beginning, I guess the early fans, I just appreciate everyone in that small circle, because it didn't, you know, it didn't blow worldwide at first. I had singles coming out from 1996, as you know, and I blew worldwide about 2001, really. Like, got popular in New York about 98, but it was mostly in Jamaican circles, and the bigger numbers of people, listenership came after that.
Well, let's listen to one of the early big songs. Take a listen to this.
Just give me the light. Yeah, yeah. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more? Yeah, let me know my sights, and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow, cause I'm in the vibes and I got.
That is Gimme the Light on the Buzz Rhythm, the first of a slew of mega hits from my guest Sean Paul. He's here to talk a little bit about his career, a little bit about his new record. Talk to me about how that song came to be.
You know, back in those days, as I said, I'm hustling. I'm finally getting my opportunity to be heard. You know, my first demos were more conscious music, introspective songs, things to think about. A lot of people advised me, like, yo, bro, you know, there's other people already doing that. I mean, you know, from Ziggy Marley to Buju Banton to Tony Rebel, all these cats are doing it way more authentic than you. They've felt the struggle, and nobody don't believe when you say that. You want to sing about what you like. You're the dude who goes into the party and, like, you know, takes a boy, girl away. I'm like, yo, what? And they're like, yeah, man, that's your type of, like, people want to hear you like that. So I started to just freestyle about, you know, what we were doing in the club last week. So there was a producer. He was like, I was like, I charge $1,000 to come and voice the song. Yeah. We work out paperwork of, like, you know, splits and royalties and points after the fact. Yeah. In the dancehall world. So it's like, if you want me, my name is being called right now. I'm on a lot of stage shows. If you want me to take my time and come do that, you know, pay me $1,000 US. So that's like the advance thing. So not much in terms of what business or music business was doing back then. But for me, I started off, that was big bucks, you know. So the guy says, I got $800. And I was like, nah, man, that's not enough for me. So I went about my business, writing songs for other producers, trying to do, you know, that hustle there. And then I ran into, I think something happened to my car or something like that week. And I ran into a little hitch, and I was called back to do it. I was like, yo, you still got that $8 bills? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm coming for it. So I went down there. I'm like, what am I going to sing on this rhythm? All right, New York. I was in New York last week. People were busting bottles of Mo. Yo, Mr. Paul, what's up? I like your song, Deport Them. Here, this is a bottle for you and the young lady. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, you know, I'm smoking. I'm like, all right, let me talk about that. Just give me the light. That was it, man. And the melody, I kind of got driving down to the studio in the traffic. And then just the words started to come while thinking about what was going on in the club the week before. And so, you know, the natural hustle and the great vibe, it's kind of just like, you know, it caused a great vibe. It caused like people to be like, feel that energy of being in the club at that time. To me, it was just like a quick thing. And when it started to take off, it was Trinidad. I went to a show there and they were like, yo, you had to sing that song, boy. And I was like, what? Give me the light. Y'all know? They're like, yeah. I was like, whoa. Because in Jamaica, there were other songs on that rhythm that were playing more. And I didn't think nobody knew that one. So I went to New York and the same thing happened and it started to blow bigger and bigger in a lot more territories, Miami. And then, you know, it took over. Yeah, as you said, one of my hugest songs to this day.
I mean, and another Canadian connection, a big part of the success of Give Me the Light was the music video by Toronto's own Director X, another big Canadian tie to the story. What was your reaction to Director X's vision for that music video?
It's funny because when we first started to conceptualize anything for the video or get treatments, then there was people that were, you know, wanting me to be in the bushes with coconut trees and Rastafarians and, you know, chilling pipes. And I'm like, that's all cool. But I mean, the song is about weed, but to me, it's more of a party song. And I kind of want to reflect that. A lot of people didn't kind of know about what dancehall was. Now, we like to call it the heartbeat of Jamaican people. So it's our likes, our dislikes. It's our dreams, our aspirations. It's, you know, it's party, it's love songs, it's everything. Like, you know, it's like all kind of angles. And for me, you know, it just sorry, that song, it was a party song. Yeah. And I just wanted to feel it, you know what I mean? So when X came, he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna make this about Jamaican dance. A lot of people don't know that we do in the clubs a little differently to our rhythms and how it goes. And he's from Trinidad oriented, you know, his parents, his mom, I think. And, you know, he knows that whole thing. So he was like, yo, bro, I'm going to represent that. Don't worry. So we got to the set and then we see things like this, like neon light. We're like, yo, what is going on? I didn't really have a concept of what it was. And he's like, yo, you're in a space by yourself. We're just going to showcase and there's a lot of Caribbean and you know, Jamaican dancehall enthusiasts in Toronto, especially at that time. Big up to Dainty Crime crew. That was the dance crew that they got there. And Tanisha Scott, she's from Canada as well, and Jamaican born, but these people just kind of like brought the roots of Jamaica to there. And X knew this whole vibe, so he brought us all together, which was awesome. A lot of people think I'm from Canada, Toronto, because I do have family there. My grandparents moved there in '76, my mom's father. And, you know, we have aunts and uncles and cousins there. And so, yeah, I was familiar as a kid going there once or twice for summers. But never really had connections as in outside that family scenario. I didn't have friends. I didn't go to school there. So X kind of brought me together with a lot of different people who were just in the music game or entertainment industry. And when you play the song, I smiled because I immediately started to remember the video and X and what he did as to bring me together with a Jamaican authentic dancehall vibe in Toronto. It was wicked.
Yeah, I thought you were Canadian. Like I remember when I remember when Get Busy blew up, and I was like, the guy from Baby Blue, like the guy, he's doing so well.
Yeah.
You'd follow Give Me the Light with some of your biggest songs to date. Get Busy, as I mentioned, Like Glue, Baby Boy with Beyonce. This year is the 20th anniversary of that Grammy-winning album, Dutty Rock, that gave us all those mega hits. Can we just talk about Get Busy for a second? Because that song becomes so massive. I actually heard it on the radio on the way home yesterday. What was the moment you knew that song was blowing up?
I remember hearing the rhythm. Like, so I was touring so much at the time that I would miss the first voicing of the rhythm. So like for 2 weeks, I'm driving around. I'm like, yo, whose rhythm is this?
This is the Diwali rhythm, right?
Yeah, Diwali. So people's like, it's lengthy. And I'm like, oh man. And I know his artist / engineer very well, Zumj. Zumj was like, yeah, come to the studio. It's on so-and-so terrace. And he had moved to his own little studio, and it was like home base. So I went there, and I just remember my voice was raspy at the time, and they were like, yo, clear your voice. I kept saying, you're smoking too much, bro. And Get Busy for me was like, when I heard the beat, I was like, yo, this is party to me. This is like, I want to tell people to get busy or percolate or whatever they want. Just turn up, like do whatever you want to do. Feel the electricity of the rhythm, feel my vibe. So for me, it and Give Me Light is like the ultimate party vibes on that album. Classic, something for me that I either open or close my shows with.
I mean, they got bigger than any song in the world, especially Get Busy. I mean,
Yeah, Get Busy went to #1, and like I seen episodes of the Osbournes. Is it Osbourne? Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. He's singing it, and I'm like, what? He's like, this song's stuck in my head, an annoying song. And I'm like, yo, never did I think in '87 while watching him bite birds' heads off that he would be singing a song that I wrote and sang. So yeah, just a whirlwind time. That song. For me, it did a lot for the genre itself. I mean, every now and then in dancehall music, we have like a prolific rhythm that comes around. It has a few songs on it or has many hit songs on it. And it spawns other things like upon the replay from Rihanna, her first single, it definitely has the same drum beat and reminiscent sound of the Diwali rhythm. Same thing for Nina Sky. Few years later, Brick and Lace, a group, Love is Wicked, so much different things. And that rhythm had like so much different party vibes from people like Bounty Killer and Wayne Marshall and, local great artists. I just happened to blow up internationally with it. I was in the right space at the right time. But the whole rhythm itself was culturally a great thing. One thing I just wanted to say about it, like, with Deport Them or Like Glue, it took 2 years for those songs to break in the United States and become played on the radio over there or in Canada as well, like break out of the dancehall circles or the Jamaican circles. But when Diwali hit, I had the opportunity. It was hitting in Jamaica, as I said, 2 weeks. I'm like, yo, which hit rhythm is this? And I'm the one putting on, Give Me the Light was a huge hit at the time, and I'm like, yo, let me go to the studio, let me hit this. If this becomes played on the BETs, MTVs in the States or in Europe or Canada, this is going to be the first time I can remember something that's actually culturally really hitting in Jamaica and hitting abroad, and it did happen. That was an amazing feeling to feel like I had now, instead of this 2-year period of international circles waking up and going, oh, this is a nice song, let me play it. It was now like, yo, this is the fire, play it. And they were like, yeah, dope. So I felt like the man, bro. I really felt awesome. You know what I mean?
Well, let's take it back to 2022 now. Let's stay in the present. Take a listen to this.
Dynamite, you and me are meant to be.
Baby girl, you're the bomb, the only one for me. Over and over, I tell you this girl that you know miss no day. No time. Loving your style and your profile, girl, and the get busy. Driving the white girl the way you
My guest, Sean Paul, new music from him. It's called Dynamite from his latest album entitled Scorcha. A reunion of sorts with Sia, the singer Sia. What can you tell me about that song?
Just that, the first song we did was a remix. She reached out to my management. Management said, would you consider doing a song with Sia? I'm like, hell yeah. My niece, I was 6 at the time, was a fan. My mom, who's a mature lady at the time, you know what I mean, loves it. Everybody's like, yo, this woman is awesome, her voice. So I jumped at the opportunity to do that. That was her first #1, surprisingly enough to me. And she sent me flowers, you know what I mean? And when I got the flowers, we had a call. I was like, yo, I would really love to do something else with you. And she said, because she said it was her first #1, I couldn't believe it. I thought Chandelier was a #1 song. I thought Diamonds was a song that she had written for Rihanna and was I couldn't believe it was her first #1. And she was like, yeah, we should. And, it took some time to find this banger, the next installment, Dynamite. For me, there was many people involved in bringing it to me. And I thought, okay, this is the right idea, the right rhythm. Let me get Banks and Ranks involved. And so Banks and Ranks is a group, as you know, from Montreal. And I suppose you're going to get the Canadian connection there. But yeah, it's true. I worked with them in writing camps, and they're from Montreal, based in Montreal, but they have roots in Guadeloupe. And they tell me every summer they went to Guadeloupe for visit family. They would hear dancehall music in its heyday, like mid-90s, late 90s, and then early 2000s. And they just have that vibe. They have the swing of it. So I brought a lot of projects to them in the last, I would say, 5 years. I just believe in that vibe because they have a tendency to give me that authentic dancehall backbeat, but also take it to a place where I don't hear much dancehall producers doing. And so they've been a go-to to me for the past couple of years now.
Well, I mean, it's been amazing to talk to you about the Canadian connections throughout your career, just about your amazing career, about the evolution of dancehall as you've become, one of the brightest lights in the genre's history, and someone who's taken the genre all around the world. We're actually going to close off with you and Damian Marley doing No Fear. So I wanted to ask, as someone who's taken on a lot of risks, who's done things with this music and that a lot of people haven't done, what does that mean to you, No Fear?
Yeah, I mean, believing in yourself, ultimately. I mean, a lot of times, we doubt, and you have to kind of be positive. And the song, not to cut away from this one, but there's a song on the album called Good Day. It's about mental health. It's about trying to remain positive, even though there are dark times. This song, No Fear, is about facing life's adversity, with no fear. Like just knowing that you're dealt certain cards, you have to play that out in life. You should try to play it as smartly as possible. And if you doubt yourself, you've kind of lost. You know what I mean? So for me, being strong and firm in that respect, wherever your learning curve is at that point, is still a good thing. You know what I mean? You could learn different and change your opinion later, but to stand your ground and to believe in yourself at that point, from what you know, is an important thing for every human being.
Sean Paul, lovely to meet you. Thanks for everything over the years, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.